So, in Ryan Hemmelar's most recent debate, he set forth a syllogism and a challenge, and I want to address both of those. The syllogism reads, "If we are justified before God by any of our works, we have reason to boast. God does not want us to be able to boast before Him, therefore, our justification before God is not by any of our works." The problem with this is the use of any of our works for two reasons. One, faith is a work. Believing in Jesus is a work. John 6:29. This is the work of God, that you believe in Him whom you've sent. People will fight against this idea, but Ryan already used Thayer's lexicon. Thayer defines works of God in that passage as works set and approved by God. So if we're justified by believing, then, and that's a work, then we could have a reason to boast. Now Ryan will say, well, no, we're not going to boast just because we believe, but a lot of times this is the case. Every April 1st, someone comes along and says, the fool says in his heart there is no God. So just because you can boast in believing doesn't make believing not necessary for salvation. The second main problem with the syllogism is it's based on Romans 3 and Romans 4, and I think Albrecht is absolutely correct. The context is works of the law of Moses. He even cites Romans 3:27. The end of Romans 3 is justified by faith apart from works of the law of Moses. The idea of boasting in Romans 3 and in Romans 4 is the same, so why wouldn't the works be the same? So he really needs to get hunkered down into Romans 3 and 4 and have maybe a debate about that passage if that's the entirety of the basis for his argument. But these texts aren't saying that none of our works, like faith or repentance, Jonah 3 for the understanding repentance, it's not saying any of our works would give us reason to boast. It's that works of the law are a reason to boast. Or even if we grant that it's any works, works without faith could cause us to boast if we thought we could be justified that way. But it's works without faith, obviously that cannot justify. So he is really begging the question. He is asserting his interpretation in order to support the syllogism. And I have reason to doubt the syllogism itself. Does it follow that if we're justified by works, we have reason to boast? God doesn't want us to be able to boast, therefore justification can't involve any kind of work. But even if the structure is questionable, his assertions and his definitions make it invalid.